Hi everyone. A very good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. I'm Rasha Khan and I'm your host for today's webinar. And I'm joining all the way from Bangalore, India. Would love to know where are you joining in from. So I'm just putting down my introductions on the chat here for you. Chat is open for your amazing introductions. We need few more minutes to start the session. So you have just joined right on time and I am seeing the number grow of the attendance as we are speaking. But let's give few more minutes for folks who are still getting settled in. So I'm Rasha Khan, and I'm joining all the way from Bangalore, India. Whether you're an early bird or a night owl, thank you for being here. Let's kick off this journey together, and don't forget to drop us a hello on the chat and let us know where are you joining us from. Awesome. I see introductions have already started coming in. We are also streaming live on our YouTube channel, and I see folks have joined us there as well. Also, quickly, just would like to say hi to folks who have joined us on our YouTube channel as well. We will be actively looking at the YouTube live chat box as well, with for your introductions and also any questions you might have as well. You are also a part of the webinar. So I see someone has joined us from Anup has joined us from Rohtak, Haryana. I see a lot of amazing introductions on the chat as well. I see Supriya has joined us from Kolkata. A lot of hellos here. And would love to know where are you joining us from. And Priyanka has joined us from Nepal, Grace from Indonesia. So folks, this is a global webinar. As you can notice that folks are joining from different parts of the world. And that makes the session even more interesting. So it's always good to network, right? These events before we start the session. So I'm just giving you that opportunity. Let's get to know each other. Let's introduce ourselves on the chat here. And it would be good if you mention your name with where are you joining us from. So as you can see, there are so many amazing introductions which have started coming in both on Zoom and our YouTube live chat box. And yeah, we'll be starting the session. Meanwhile, while you're giving your amazing introductions, let me also quickly take you through the introduction of webinar today. So this program is powered by Simplilearn, world's #1 online bootcamp. We have been in the digital skills training space for more than a decade now. And we are very proud that we have transformed lives by empowering people via these digital skills. And the skill and the program we'll be talking about today is the Java full stack developer. So we have an interesting session lined up for you. Also, a few quick and easy ground rules for you to follow so you have an amazing experience. So you'll have to put down your questions in the Q&A box. I know you will have a lot of questions and you would want to ask it immediately and also get answers immediately. I'm so sorry that might not be possible immediately if you understand that we have a really high attendance here. But we would love to address all of your queries. And only way to do that is if you move your questions to the Q&A box. If you put it on the chat box, you can see there are so many introductions coming on the chat box. We have high chat volume, so we might actually miss it, whenever the speaker, gets time to address those questions. And also the session is being recorded. In case you want to go through the recording of the session once again, you can expect a follow-up email from us with the recording link to view over your email after the webinar. And also for attending the webinar, there is a webinar certificate. For that, you'll have to request a proof of attendance for this webinar, and you'll have to provide your full name to us in the post-webinar survey. And basically what exactly the webinar certificate will look like. So this is how the certificate of participation will look like. It will be certified to you and your name will be here and you're attending today the Java full stack, your gateway to a recession-proof future here. And you can see it is accredited by Simplilearn and what exactly you can do with the certificate, right? So you can share it on your LinkedIn network. You can show it off. You can also take screenshots and screen grabs of the session if you like something, if you have insights to share, if you learn something new with your network and show them like, you're basically going out and, updating yourself with the current trends in Java full stack. And also you can tag our Simplilearn handle and also our expert Shalini Mittal. I'll share the details on the chat shortly, so you can check out that. Folks are already, sharing their insights, screenshots, webinar certificates for, with the network, and they actually are getting connected with a lot of like-minded folks. And a simple, easy way to do that is you can see these are the certificates which are already being shared, and all you need to do is use the hashtag #SimplyGrow. That is how we can find you and also give you a shout out. So please do that. I'll share these ground rules during the session as well, in case you have missed it, because I saw the number is growing tremendously as I'm speaking. A lot of new folks have joined in. So in case you have missed the ground rules, I'll share it on the chat during the session. Please don't worry. And also towards the end as well. I'll just remind you of all those things. Now, quickly would like to introduce our speaker here, Shalini Mittal. But before that, also let me quickly take you through the agenda of today's session. So first and the most important agenda of today's session is about you. And yeah, I think Shalini is back here. We'll quickly go back to the introduction here. So we have our expert speaker, Shalini, here with us. And I will quickly like to introduce Shalini here. Shalini is a full stack development expert and instructor, and is also a content creator, YouTuber, and speaker and mentor. She basically is an Oracle certified Java professional with 14 plus years of training and development experience in IT industry, and providing professional enhancement to the individuals and corporates. And she has delivered training on various technology stack to various Fortune 500 companies here. And I'm pretty sure, Shalini, no matter how much I say about you, your introduction here, the slide cannot cover the amount of skills and experience you have. So I'm pretty sure the folks here would love to know it from you as well, about your journey, about your experience. So please do share with us. And again, once again, a very good evening to you.
Thank you so much, Rasha, and hello and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, from wherever you have joined in. Thanks, Rasha, for the nice introduction. And about me, I'm an engineer by qualification. I got married in 2000, so I did my engineering in 2000. And we were in US for 8 years, and I came back in 2010 to India, where I realized that I need to do something for my professional growth. So I was doing good as a mom, I was doing good as a wife, I was doing good as all the roles except the professional role. So yes, I started my journey in 2010, and since 2016, I am working as a freelancer, working with various MNCs within and outside India. I am a travelholic, I am a technoholic, so I love technology, I love to travel a lot. I love to travel different countries, different cities. Professionally, I deliver trainings on various technology stack. You just name it. If I start counting it, it would be like 40 plus. So yes, I do that. And as Rasha said, I'm a content creator. I'm a YouTuber, a speaker as well, and more onto it on my LinkedIn profile. Thanks, Rasha.
Thank you so much, Shalini, for your amazing introduction. Yes, I'm pretty sure folks are curious, where they can find you as well, right? Even after the webinar. I'll share those details. Please don't worry. I'll share it on the chat. So yeah, starting, we were just talking about, the ground rules here, Shalini, before your introduction. And also let's quickly take them through the agenda of today's session. So the first and the most important agenda of today's session is about you, how we can help you out in your career better through this webinar and address any questions you might have. Also, we'll be covering the second agenda, which is today's interesting topic. We have lined up for you the Java full stack, your gateway to a recession-proof career in 2024. And after we are done with that, we will be covering the Java full stack developer master's program. We will be introducing you to the program, what exactly the program offers, and how exactly the program gets you job ready, and also sharing with you, the enrollment steps of the program based on the interest you share. And the Q&A, last but not the least, towards the end. But this is going to be a very interactive and engaging session because you'll be getting to know that once we start the session. But if there are questions which cannot be answered immediately, it's okay. Please move it to the Q&A box, and we will address it whenever the speaker gets time or the time allows for her. So yeah, just have a little patience, and we will try to address all of your questions here and help you out. So yeah, please don't worry. Awesome. Moving on to the next slide here, starting with a quick poll. So now that we know a lot of you have given your introductions on the chat here, and as we can see, you're joining from different parts of the world. So let's start with a quick introduction of experience poll as well, right? So I'm just launching a poll which says, how many years of experience do you currently have? And there are 4 quick options to choose from, and you can choose the one which is the most suitable for you. When I'm talking about experience, I'm talking about work experience, and we are not talking about full stack or Java. It can be any work experience here. So yeah, as I see that folks have already started sharing their responses on the poll here. So let's give it 10 seconds more for the poll for everyone to quickly go and share the responses there. And a lot of you who are watching us on our YouTube live, You can also let us know by just responding on the YouTube live chat box. So we are also paying attention to the live chat box there as well. So yeah, please do that. And thank you so much for the amazing introductions on the YouTube live chat box as well. Welcome once again. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the poll here, folks. So how many years of experience do you currently have? And we are excited to, kick off our webinar program review. And we'll be covering the Java full stack, your gateway to a recession-proof future in 2024. So we are excited about that as well. Few more minutes and we will be starting. Awesome. I'll be ending the poll now. Last 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me end the poll and also share the results with our expert speaker and you folks. Let's see what have you voted for. So I see 68% of you have less than 2 years of experience and 16% of you have 2 to 5 years of experience and 0% of you have 6 to 10 years of experience and 16% of you have more than 10 years of experience. Oh, like we have quite experienced folks here as well. And, we have folks who have just less than 2 years of experience. A great crowd here, right? Like that's a perfect crowd to have for the program as well and the field of Java full stack we'll be talking about. So yeah, let's start with our second agenda, the topic of today's session, Java full stack, your gateway to a recession-proof future in 2024. So over to you, Shalini.
Thank you so much, Rasha. So hello and welcome everyone. We are going to start with Java full stack. So basically, as the name suggests, it provides you with a stack which you can use it to create a full-fledged application. So you're not just learning one part of it. So for example, how many of you all has anyone not used Amazon? Okay, let me ask this way. Anyone who has not used Amazon?
I'm pretty sure
right?
that will be there.
So everyone's, specifically with COVID and the pandemic, everyone is online. So you must have gone to a website or a mobile app. Oh, wow, that's nice. So what do you use? Do you do online shopping? Any other app that you use or a platform apart from Amazon? I was big. So at least, yes, you use, right? So if not Amazon, then you must definitely be purchasing online from other platforms. And when you go, you open a web page, you scroll through the web page, you look for something, you place an order, you log in, you have to register, you log in, you place an order, and then your order gets delivered to your house, right? It seems very simple when you just hear register, log in, choose an item, add to the cart, pay it, and then you get your items delivered. That's fine if you use Amazon or if you use any other local platform or app. That's totally fine, but at least we all have used a website, right? It is not as simple as it seems to be. Behind the scene, there are many layers and many things playing different roles to get that one product ordered, delivered, and shipped it to the comfort of your house. You are going to be the future developers who are going to be responsible for creating such kind of applications. Now, when we talk about these kind of applications, we need resilience. We need flexibility. They need to be maintainable, right? If I want to add any new feature, now if you see WhatsApp, right? Every now and then, every 6 months or every year, so there wasn't a mic, there wasn't a payment system, there wasn't group notifications, there wasn't I mean, there are so many features. There wasn't a camera, right? There wasn't an option of sharing your location, geographical location. So as you see, as the applications advance, as the usage advance, there are so many features added in the same WhatsApp. I mean, it's so easy for us as customers. We don't have to do anything, and the new feature just gets added, and we're just able to use it, right? Whenever you create applications, there are many, many layers that go in. The reason being, you want your application to be resilient enough, to be maintainable and flexible enough so that any changes, any features you want to add or delete shouldn't be very difficult. It shouldn't be that you have to redo or recreate the entire project, right? So to be able to do that, there are many things that go behind the scene. I would request Rasha that if you could stop sharing.
Sure.
Okay.
Also, while Shalini, you're sharing your screen, just quickly checking with them if you are audible to them and if everything is clear and visible. Just checking that as well. Meanwhile, please go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So I'll just share my screen quickly. And let me know if my screen is visible to all. Is everyone able to see the whiteboard? Great. Okay. Now, I am looking at the chat window. You all can respond in the chat windows. Let's make it interactive. Otherwise, it's going to be boring. If only I speak, I'm going to sleep, definitely. Okay. Now, whenever you go to a website, suppose you open a Google Chrome. Okay. You go to a website. You go ahead. And what is the first step you do? Do you register or do you log in? When you go to a website, do you register or do you directly log in? Correct, right? So you go ahead and you click on the register link. You get a registration page. You fill in your data. So I filled in my name, I filled in my email ID, I filled in my phone number, I filled in all of the information that the website asks for the mobile app request. And then I click on the register button. Okay. When you click on the register button, something happens in the background. And then after you register, so when you click on register, you send a request to someone for completing the registration process. Once the registration is complete, what is the next step that you get on the websites? After you complete the registration, then what is the next page that you see? Login, right? Once the registration is complete, then you get a login page. Now, I registered today, for example, 28 May. I registered, but I do not. Okay, fine. Very perfect. Verification of email is also there. Awesome. Nice steps that you're following. You remember all the steps that happens. Where email verification is done. And once your email is verified, you will be able to log in. Correct? Everyone in sync with me, right? Now, after you log in, okay. No? Okay. If you're not in sync, you can put your questions and I'll try to definitely answer them. So now today you registered on 28 May, you verified your email address. You did not log in today. Say, for example, you come back on 2nd June. Now tell me, when you come back on 2nd June, do you have to register again or do you directly log in? Providing your username and password. You directly log in. How does the website know? Okay, how does so suppose I entered my username as Shalini. I entered my password as SH1234. Now, when I go to the login page, entering my username and password, how do they know that it is me only who had registered previously? Perfect, Ranjit. There is something called as database. Again, as the name suggests, yes, all the details are already there. So what is that there? That there is the database. As the name suggests, it is the base that provides you to store data. So when I register, I provide my details, which are kept permanently somewhere. That somewhere is the database. Next time when I log in, whatever credentials I enter, they are validated against the data stored in the database. Awesome. Correct? Any questions still here? Now, whenever you go to a website, so right now I'm talking about a website. Okay. We will come back to mobile app a bit later. Let's talk about a web page. Anyone knows or is anyone aware what languages are used to create a web page? See, we all are correct, perfect, right? We are communicating with a language that is English. Likewise, you need to instruct the browser that I have a page, I have a table, I have an image, I have a form, I have text boxes, I have videos, whatever it is, right? Perfect. Okay, what is the purpose of HTML? Anyone? Okay, content. Perfect. I can say it displays the content. Okay? No, it doesn't provide the structure. It displays the content. Okay? You want to structure. Awesome, Rana. Hypertext markup language, that's the full form. It is used to display a content. So you want to have a table, you want to display a paragraph, you want to have images, you want to have audios, videos, whatever it is, whatever you want, you do it using the HTML. Now, you want to decorate the page. So we also call it as applying a makeup. Okay. So you cannot just have plain black and white text. We have animations. When you hover over something, it zooms in, it zooms out. I mean, there's so many things that go on, right? You may want to align the content, you may want to structure the content. For doing this, you want to apply styles. That is called as CSS, cascading style sheet. Perfect. It is the makeup of your HTML page, which allows you to structure the HTML page. It allows you to create a layout. It actually allows you to tell, okay, image goes on the left, text goes on the right. There is some text in the center. There has to be some color. There has to be some font. There has to be some alignment and all that stuff. Till here, with these two languages, your website, any website that you have, can be created. Now, when you create a form, okay, creating a form, so having text boxes, having labels, structuring the web page, having a layout, done and dusted with HTML and CSS. Perfect. Okay. Now, when I enter the data, okay, now when I enter the data into the text boxes, I need to validate the data. Data is correct. For example, usernames don't have numbers. Phone numbers don't have alphabet. Email IDs have a pattern. Passwords require some specific symbols to be used or specific characters and numbers to be used. Am I correct with this? Okay. Required attributes can be done by HTML, but you need to apply all these validations. Once my form is filled, so you must have noticed when you go to a form and there is a required field. For example, email ID is mandatory. If you do not fill in the mandatory field, what happens? When you click on the register button, what happens? If in a form, there is a mandatory field which you haven't filled in, what will happen? Will you be able to register? Correct. There is an error message shown. Displaying the error message, getting the data, validating the data cannot be done by HTML and CSS. They don't have those capabilities. Exactly for that reason, you need one more programming language, that is JavaScript. So JavaScript takes the values from the text box, validates the data, provides the error messages. Once the entire registration form is filled in as per the requirement, JavaScript takes the entire data. So your name, your email ID, your phone number, blah, 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 all your information, it bundles it up, and that bundle of information needs to be stored in the database. Hold on. But JavaScript cannot communicate with the database directly. This is for security reasons. It's as good as you have your money in the bank. You as a customer cannot directly burn in the bank and say, hey, that's my money, I'll just go and pick up my money. No, there are layers of security. You have to show a proof that you have a bank account, and only then there will be someone in the bank, a manager or someone, a middle layer, who is sitting between you as a customer and your money with the bank. And that manager takes a request. Okay, you want $1,000, £1,000, ₹1,000 from your account. Okay, fine. Let me verify if you are the proper account holder, if you have that much money in your account, and if yes, that money is handed over to you. Is it right? Am I correct with this? Right? So directly you cannot access. Exactly the same way, for security reasons, JavaScript is not allowed to directly talk to database. So then what do you think we need? Then what do we need? We need a manager, right? We need a manager which is sitting in between. Exactly, the backend programming. Now, this backend programming, this manager can be anyone. Okay. So see, the manager in real world can be from any background, any country, any religion, any caste, doesn't matter. Same way, we have different programming languages like Java, PHP, so Python, that is Django. Here we have Spring and Spring Boot. You can also use Node.js, and there are multiple different languages. Now, you would say, why so many different languages? We have so many different browsers. We have so many different mobile devices from different companies. So Samsung, OnePlus, Xiaomi, MI, Apple, and so on, right? Different manufacturers, different companies. Same way, different developers, different companies, different technologies. The stack that you are being introduced to is the Java stack. So I'm going to focus on Java, but as already many people are giving in the options in the chat, perfectly you all are on the right track. Okay. So what happens is this entire data, right? So the entire data, when I click on the register button, with all the mandatory fields being validated, the entire data is bundled up and the request is sent to this middle layer, who is our manager. This middle layer, which is also called as the backend. This layer is also called as the front end, because this is the face to the customer. So I don't know whether Amazon or Netflix or Zomato or Swiggy or Flipkart or anyone is using Java or PHP or Django or Node.js. I don't care. What I care about is I have a front end, I have a website where I go, I interact, I place a request, my request is fulfilled, I get a response, and then I proceed. That's all, right? But as a developer, when you're going to that field, you need to know what goes in behind the scene. So whenever you send a request along with the data, it goes to this backend. This backend processes the data, converts it to a format that database can understand, and then communicates with the database, stores data in the database. Once that is successful, it said the database says, okay, fine, the data was stored successfully. And once this backend application gets a success message, a thumbs up from the database, it sends a success response back to the browser, that is our application, which basically then which then sends a message to the customer. You are successfully registered. You can go ahead, verify the email. And then when you go to log in, you enter your credentials. These credentials are validated with the data stored in the database. This is the entire flow that goes in behind the scene from when you start accessing any web application to the request goes in, processing happens, and the response comes back. Any questions still here?
Also, folks, you can direct your question towards the Q&A box as well, in case you want to take some more time for your questions as well.
Okay. Now, to ease things out for the developers. See, okay, tell me. Suppose JavaScript is okay. That I guess Rasha will take up in the last. So I'll take the question from Avasbek. How JavaScript can be connected with the backend languages? So for JavaScript to be able to communicate with the backend languages, there is something called as API endpoint. Okay. I am using some technical terms that might be intimidating or overwhelming, or you might have not heard about them, and that is totally fine. We don't expect, okay? But still, when you go ahead and send a request, how does JavaScript communicates with the backend applications? We create something called as API endpoints. So JavaScript needs to know where the backend is located. So when you will learn the Java full stack development, you will realize how do we create that endpoint? How does JavaScript communicate with that endpoint? How does it know where the backend is located? So of course, there's an address. So to locate someone, we need an address. So there is an address that needs to be known. So JavaScript needs to know address. And then with that address, it communicates with the backend. And then the communication starts. Okay. API endpoint is used for communication from the front end to the back end to and fro. So for communication, what we use API endpoint. Okay. A full stack developer is not only JavaScript. This is the entire flow. So if you are becoming a full stack developer, you need to learn front end languages, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and to ease the developers, because when you have complex applications, you really need to have an application which is very flexible in terms of change. So in the IT world, we always say change is constant. So basically, it's a contradictory statement, but change is constant. So every 2 months, every 3 months, you will see a change. You will see technology changing, and your application has to match with the changing demands. Okay, that's the same reason to ease the developers, to reduce the development time for the developers. You have something called as frameworks. Okay, so when you talk about the front end, you can create a website using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but it is going to take lots of time. Hence, you have frameworks like React or Angular or Vue or jQuery, which you use it to create a website. You want to design, writing plain CSS, believe me, is a chaos. Hence, you use something called as Bootstrap. So it's as good as, can I decorate my house on my own? Definitely I can. But if I hire an interior designer, does it ease it? Yes, it does. Bootstrap is your interior designer, which does lots of stuff, but there are some things which you might be doing it on your own as well. Okay. So we have Bootstrap, which allows you to very quickly design your websites, frameworks which help you develop the websites. When you talk about the backend application, if we talk about Java, so for the backend, you will need to learn a language that is Java. You will need to learn what is MVC. Again, that's a pattern that you learn. You need to learn Spring. You need to learn Spring Boot. You need to create REST API. And for the backend, that is database, you will be learning a program or a database language called as SQL, Structured Query Language. Okay. If you want to become a full stack developer, you will have to learn. So I'll just highlight HTML, CSS, JavaScript. One of the framework, you don't need to know everything in the start. You will learn Java, MVC, Spring, Spring Boot, how to create REST API. You will need to learn SQL and cherry on the cake. Okay. So to top it up, then we have so we call it as DevOps. Okay. So now when you talk about DevOps, basically what all things come under here? That is Agile. You have AWS or Azure or uh, Google Cloud Platform, GCP. Okay, you would be learning, say, for example, Docker. You would be, say, for example, Jenkins. These are just technologies. Don't worry about the depth. What is it? When you join the course, everything will be explained in details. Uh, and there are many things that goes under the DevOps. So DevOps is development and operations work together. So we as developers work with the operation team who is responsible to move our project into production to make it live for the end users to start using it. Okay. So as a full stack developer, this entire thing, this entire technologies or languages that you learn, then you can say you are a full stack developer. Except web Priyanka, I'll just take few questions. Except web Priyanka, Java can be used to create web applications, batch processing, messaging applications, mobile applications, communicating with the printer, communicating with the hardwares. It can be used at many different areas, not only in web. Okay. No, ASB validations are done on the front end with JavaScript because if for example, if in an email ID, I'm saying Shalini@gmail.com. If it is Shalini@gmail.com, and then if I forgot to add the @ I need to have that validation on the front end only. So that is done by JavaScript. So JavaScript is responsible to do the validations and display the error messages then and there. Only after all the information is valid, JavaScript takes the data and using the API endpoint, it communicates with the backend application to store the data in database. For React or Angular, no, for another language, okay, for the front-end frameworks, you need to know JavaScript in depth. Otherwise, it's very difficult to learn a framework. API designing and development is basically, I want to communicate with the backend applications to be able to tell what needs to be done with the data. That is what is API designing. So I create an API, which is application programming interface. So the backend application works as an interface or a mediator between your front end and the database. Okay. So I guess I answered most of the questions. See, you have MERN stack, you have mean stack, you have Java full stack, you have PHP full stack, you have Python full stack. Believe me, if you ask me, I am delivering trainings and creating applications using many different languages at different points. It's all the business requirement. It's a client requirement and the organization that you are working for, what they have to do it. Okay. So you can use any particular framework or any particular stack. Um, it's not that MERN is the best to learn or mean is the best to learn. Okay. Yeah, Rasha, over to you.
Sure, Shalini. Thank you so much for taking us through the Java full stack, basically career roadmap. And I think we have talked about a lot of things already. So let me also share back my screen and talk about the career progression as well for a full stack Java developer. So now that we have talked about so many things, and folks here are actually pretty active and engaging as well. So they are very open to asking questions. So please keep that energy up. Please ask your questions. Maybe like in case we are not able to answer it, you can feel free to move it to the Q&A box also, right? So yeah, over to you, Shalini. Also talking about the career progressions for a Java full stack developer, how you can start as a fresher, entry level, mid level, and go up to senior roles.
Yes. So whenever you, so as a full stack developer, there are many roles that you can start with. So you basically start with as a programmer or a coder or a developer, or you can be as a trainer as well. So you basically join as a technical architect. You can be a DevOps engineer. As you can see, I also shown you that the entire full stack, along with the top it up. You, if you know DevOps, it's like cherry on the cake. So a DevOps engineer. From technical architect, you move on to the advanced technical roles, where you can be um, a program manager, project manager, business architect, business analyst, technical architect, and go on and go so on and so forth. You can be a scrum master, you can be a leadership, you can be at leadership positions, VPs, directors, CTOs, chief technology officers. As an entry level, you can be just a developer or a coder. So from starting from the entry level to the mid level to the senior level, you move on gradually to different positions, and as well as you can also move on to the various. So if you are very good in terms of, so basically if you are a people's person, then the project manager or the scrum master is something which definitely will help you with your capabilities. If you are someone who is very good in logic and development, then definitely you can go ahead with your full stack developer and taking the technical path. So it all depends upon your interest. You will be definitely given exposure to the entire technology stack, and then you can choose either all of them or a particular area based on your interest. You can go to the management side, you can go to the technical side, you can go to the DevOps engineer side, or you can have your own path as well. So it depends the organization that you join in, what options they are providing you with. Yeah, over to you, Rishan.
Thank you so much, Shalini. And also the companies that are hiring, right? So Amazon, Microsoft, CGI, Pearson, Wells Fargo, KPMG, IBM, just to name a few of them, one of the top companies. There are thousands of them. We have talked a lot about things, right? We have talked about numbers. We have talked about the companies that are hiring. So why not show you a real time example as well? What's exactly going on in the market? So let me do one thing. Let me stop sharing this presentation and show you real time numbers here as well. So I know a lot of you have joined from different countries, so I won't be able to show it for all of them, but I think that should give you an idea. Let's start with maybe opening dice, and which basically has openings for the US region. So let's see for a full stack, what are the openings here? Just let's search full stack here and see what are the current openings till date. Today, what are the number of openings we have for the US location only? Oh, see, you can see there are 3,000 plus jobs here for an NED full stack developer, and career progression we have already talked about. There are so many career paths you can take up. You can see there are so many other companies hiring. We have just named a few of them, and this is only for the basically mostly for the US region. And I know a lot of you have joined us from India as well. So let's do one thing. Let's open maybe Naukri.com, and also let's see like what are the current job openings in full stack for India region. Meanwhile, I see a lot of amazing questions, coming in on the chat, which maybe we were not able to answer. So the Q&A box is open for you. You can move it there and we will answer it, because we don't want to miss your questions from the chat box once we basically start addressing those questions. So you can see there are 24,000 plus, full stack jobs here. and they're ranging from different experiences for freshers to mid-level to experienced folks. Yeah, and a lot of companies are hiring all over India here as well. And there are different types of job roles and uh, basically, contractual, full-time, all kinds of job you can see here from top companies here, which are hiring. So yeah, this is just to give an example of real-time numbers, not just talking about it. Okay, these are the companies hiring, these are the careers here. So yeah, moving on to the next slide. We have covered the topic Java full stack here, but before introducing you to the Java full stacks master's program, which is again one of the most interesting part of the session, we would love to know what exactly is your concern when it comes to pursuing a career in full stack development, or basically becoming an expert there. So I'm just launching a quick poll here. And this one is a multiple choice poll. And you can select multiple options here because there can be multiple concerns, right? Or challenges you might be facing. And we would love to understand that in order to address them. So I'm just reading out these options for you as well. So the first one here is I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. Second one, I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And the third one, I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And the fourth one, my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. So all legit options here. But obviously, as I mentioned, if these options do not cover your concerns or challenges, the Q&A box is open for you. We have already started getting a lot of interesting questions in the Q&A box, and we'll be addressing them pretty soon whenever the speaker gets time. So yeah, please make sure to move your questions in the Q&A box so folks who have put down their questions in the chat box here. Awesome. I see most of you have already started responding to the poll here, but let's give it 10 seconds more for the poll before we move on to the uh, program preview here. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the poll. I see most of you have responded. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let me just quickly end the poll and also share the results with you folks and our speaker, Shalini. Let's see what have you shared your concerns as. 57% of the votes are for I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And 40% of you have given votes for my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. And 32% of you have given vote for I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And 19% of you have responded for I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. That definitely gives our speaker understanding as well, how she can tailor her responses while talking about the program to address your concerns. And as I mentioned, the Q&A box is open. Awesome. Let me just quickly introduce you to the Full Stack Java Developers Masters program. This is with Simplilearn, and this program comes with a comprehensive curriculum and industry-aligned learning path. We'll be summarizing the learning path, which Shalini has already talked about in the upcoming slides, in case you have any questions about that. Also, we have integrated case studies and hands-on projects. I think practical experience was one of the highest voted polls, right? That is completely legit. So how does this program exactly help give you that practical experience through the projects we have for hands-on experience? We'll be talking more about that. And also, nobody wants to learn just from pre-recorded videos, right? So we do have a live virtual classroom. I think a glimpse of it you have gotten from interaction from Shalini. But yeah, we have an amazing live classroom where you get to interact with your peers and your instructors, and it's quite interactive. I will also show you the learning environment of the program, what exactly it looks like when you take up the program as well, just to give you a quick glimpse of that. And this program duration is of 6 months, so you can just complete it by giving 5 to 10 hours per week. And moving on to the learning part of the program. So, Shalini, how does this program exactly builds the learners, full stack Java developer skills step by step?
Yeah. So basically, when you start your class, definitely there's a welcome session. So if you remember, we discussed the flow, right? You have a front end, you have a back end, and you have the database. So the flow goes exactly the same. So you basically learn how do you plan and design your UI so that your customers can start interacting with your applications. Post that someone did ask in the chat box that do we cover data structures and algorithm? Yes, indeed, because without that, you cannot apply the business logic. So this basically allows you to structure your data, process your data, and moving on to it, coming back, going to the backend layer, That is the next layer, Rasha. Can you just, yeah. Then you have the next layer, that is the backend, where you basically process your data, structure it, and then you also learn about database development. You learn how to create API endpoints so that the front end and the back end start communicating with each other. And then at the last, we bundle up all the concepts that you have learned, the planning and designing UI, DSA, the back end, the database, the API endpoints, and you create a capstone project. The capstone projects are very real-time projects, which gives you a glimpse of how a real-time project is created, and you do it all alone. So someone asked, can one single developer do it on their own? Definitely not. I will not say like you can do it. It is not easy, but this capstone project is something that you actually do it. And believe me, you would be surprised that yes, you are able to complete it.
Yeah.
Over to
Thank
you,
you
Rashmi.
so much, Shalini, for taking us through these steps, which you have very well already covered, from the interaction we just had on Java Full Stack. And also, there are electives in the program where you can learn all things integration and deployment. There is an IBM partnership as well with SQL and relational databases one-on-one, and also IBM reactive architecture, reactive microservices. I'll show you this on the program page as well once we basically go there. And moving on, you get to master so many in-demand tools, platforms, libraries. So Shalini, as you can see, there are so many tools, this program covers. What are the most important tools, if you can tell us, for someone who wants to become a full stack Java developer?
So when you want to work a Java full stack developer, as we discussed for the front end, if you would see, we have React and we have Angular. You can choose any one. So Simplilearn offers both. So you can choose a React track or you can choose an Angular track. When we talk about the backend, definitely you will be learning Spring and Spring Boot. JavaScript is again required because you want to learn React and Angular. Jira, it can be optional because Jira is something which we use it. It's basically used by managers. MongoDB and MySQL database, I would suggest you learn any one initially. So you can go with MySQL. Java, you cannot do anything without Java. At least the Spring and Spring Boot are dependent on Java. Likewise, the HTML and CSS is something which is required for React and Angular. JDBC is something which is used for Java to communicate with the database. So front end communicates using API endpoint to the backend, and the backend communicates with database using something called as JDBC. JSP is not that relevant when we talk about a full stack development if you are using Angular or React on the front end. Whenever we create any applications, I mean, you create a product, you have to test it. Even if I make a tea, if I'm making for the first time, I'm going to taste it before I serve it to the guest, right? Testing is something which is very, very important. And that is where this particular layer comes into the picture. We talk about DevOps. So these three layers comes under the DevOps. This is again a testing framework as well. And this is something which is used for managing your Java projects. So this is how the entire layer is divided. And you use almost most of them when you are creating a full stack project. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Shalini, for shedding light on these amazing tools, platforms, and which are in demand. And the projects, right? The hands-on projects. I think you've already talked about it, but just to give them again like a view, what exactly are caption projects and how are they helpful?
So capstone projects are basically, so maybe it would be a rental system, it would be a line booking system. There are many, many such banking applications. So we give you multiple options to choose from. Technology stack, of course, whichever you must have enrolled for, you would be using that technology stack. The capstone projects make sure that you use most of the technologies that you have learned throughout the 6 months, so that because after 6 months it's quite, I mean, it's quite common that you forget what you learned 4 months back. Now after 6 months, when you go to companies for interviews and you put in a resume that you have enrolled for a Java full stack or XXX full stack development, they would expect you know everything in and out. So if you had learned HTML say in the month of January and you completed your course in the month of June, you go for an interview in the month of August, you cannot say I did in January, I don't remember. No. So capstone project is something which basically help you um, revise all the concepts that you have been learning since January to June incorporating and integrating all the technologies together. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shalini. I was just answering a question that will all these topics will be covered by you alone. I basically have responded not only you, but there are so many amazing instructors who actually help building a strong skill set, via this master's program. So we
Though
have
I
a
alone can do it. So to answer it, I alone can take it, all of them. But definitely we have various instructors.
But definitely amazing instructors like Shalini, you can
Yeah.
already see that live interaction here, which you can experience in the live virtual classroom. Also talking about the industry trends here, right? I can again see a question that, how did I show you that job search? So you can just quickly go and search it on the dice.com, website, search for full stack jobs and naukri.com. It's very easy and you can search it on your own region as well. So industry trends, talking about that, the global management software market stood at USD 1.7 billion in 2023, and it is projected to reach USD 4.5 billion by 2026. There is a growth in the full stack development trends. There is a 13% CGR, and it is estimated to grow by 2026 as well. There is 30% increase in job demand. I think we have already seen the real time numbers, right? I'm showing you I've already shown the real time numbers. What are the basically a job available today as of now today. So looking at that, and for a software developer, a basic salary it starts with 70,000 USD dollars, with an average of $77,000. And it can go up to a max of $85,000. So again, these are just average numbers we have gotten from Glassdoor. It can be more than this also. Talking about the eligibility and the prerequisites of the program. So I know that a lot of you have asked this question, if I'm eligible to take up this program. So let me just quickly address that. So you need to have a basic understanding of programming and mathematics, and you need to have any technical degree equivalent such as BTech, MTech, a degree in engineering, or a bachelor's, master's in computer science is also preferred. And see, as this is a master's program, that is why degree is required. It's not just a certification. And also, no work experience is required for taking up this program. Obviously, if you have some work experience, not in this field, other field, obviously always acts as an advantage, right? Working somewhere always gives you that advantage that you have already experienced the, working force here. So yeah, that covers the eligibility and insights. Also quickly sharing the learner outcomes with you. So interestingly, the previous classes have consisted of learners coming from excellent organizations like Amazon, Microsoft, EY, VMware, Dell, IBM, just to name a few of them. There are many more, and also diverse industries. They come from the transition from like software product, IT, BFSI, telecom, and many others here. So also, just to summarize what exactly you'll be getting from this program. So you'll be getting a Simplilearn's full stack Java developer certificate. This is how it will look like. I'll also share the link towards the program. I'll show you we can download the syllabus as well. So in case you want to go through the syllabus after the program and have any questions for our learning consultants, you can do that. I'll share that. So just to summarize everything, you will be covering 20 hands-on projects and integrated labs, capstone projects in 4 domains, and also there is a job guarantee assist program as well, in which you basically get access to IM Jobs Pro for folks who have joined us from India, and for other regions as well. We have, such possibilities where we can assist you in, getting your job or preparing to get you for job. And also, just to quickly summarize things, this is completely delivered, to your device. And also the interaction basically happens between instructors and classmates. The duration for the program is 6 months. You can just complete by giving 5 to 10 hours per week. And also the labs and projects verify your skill proficiency, and there is a 24/7 learning support. Now, where exactly is all of this? I'll just quickly show you as well the learning management system here. So I have that open for you quickly. And this is what happens when you take up the program, with Simplilearn, the full stack developer Java master's program here. So this is the program, and you can see this is the master's program, and these are the learning path which already Shalini has covered in very much detail. We start with an introduction, all about planning and design UI, and you can see here it is not just recorded videos. It's a maximum of basically live classes here, which you can go and basically subscribe for. How to do that as well, I'll quickly show you. So it's a mixer match of self-learning and live classes. Self-learning videos, actually, they help you out in preparing for such live classes, in any basic doubt if you want to clear. And there are labs also which are available in this learning path, which we have already taken you through. And there are capstone projects as well. Let me do one thing. Let me just quickly open any one of them and just quickly show you what's exactly inside that. There might be a possibility that live classes might not be visible to us because the cohort is already filled. But I'll just show you if possible, if it's possible. So yeah, before this plays, I'm just quickly showing you the self-learning videos. So self-learning videos are these points just to basically clear your basics of the topics which are being covered in the live classes. You can go through it in your own time. So I'm just quickly going to play maybe one of them, maybe this somewhere in between. I'm just going to quickly play it and show you how it looks like. I'll just play it somewhere in between here.
Compiler is used to compile a Java program, and bytecode is generated for the piece of code, and its file extension is .class. This allows the user to run the bytecode on any other devices or platforms. Once the compilation process is complete, the bytecode is run by the Java Virtual Machine, JVM, and not the processor as a consideration.
So just a quick example of there are some, a lot of these self-learning videos here which you can access. And also then there are live classes as well. So let's see if it's visible to us. If not, I'll just quickly tell you what happens here. It's not visible because the cohort is completely filled, the current one. So the live classes here will be available here in this section. You will be seeing live classes. This is a global program. So you'll be seeing the live classes, the timings, which are basically, visible to you, upcoming live classes. And the ones you basically subscribe for will be visible here, my classes. And the ones you have already attended will be basically visible to you in your past class, in case you want to go through the recording once again. And also there are assessments and tests as well, as you mentioned. That these are hands-on learning, and there are reference materials, ebooks, practice guides, lab guide, and then there are practice labs as well. For every learning path which we have, which you can launch here and start learning from on your own as well. Yeah, and that just summarizes one of the learning path, and just to show you what exactly happens in the program. And then there are electives, which we have shown you, where you can go and basically, opt for these, but these are optional. We do not charge anything extra for these electives. It is up to you if you want to take them up. And we have 24/7 help support available here. In case you have any questions, you can just quickly go and ask your questions here related to certificate, exam, labs, projects, the classes which are going on. If you have any questions about that, it can be anything, and basically it will be available 24/7 to help you out. And that is how you can unlock your certificate, which you can see here, your progress. So you need to pass at least 2 course and projects from 2 different courses to complete this, and you need at least 65% of marks to unlock it. So yeah, this is what, just to summarize the program. And going back to the slide, we would love to know your interest in enrolling to the FullStack Java Developer Masters program. I'm launching a quick poll here, which says yes or no, and you can share your interest as yes if you would like to enroll into the program. Meanwhile, you're doing that, I'm also sharing the link towards the program here with you as promised. So you have the link and you can use it to download the syllabus. And even after you share interest here, the learning consultants from Simplilearn will be reaching out to you, and they will be taking up a much more detailed walkthrough of the program. In case you have any questions, you can also, highlight those questions to them by using the link which I'm sharing it with you for the program. This is the FullStack Java Developer program which we just covered. And you can see all the details here which we have already covered, and you can go and download the syllabus here. This is the syllabus link, you will find it here. And all the other details, this is a certificate, all the things we have covered. You can also share your interest towards enrollment here, all the skills which are covered, projects which are covered, like projects, again, like one of the most important part, right, to showcase that practical experience. So I'm sharing this link towards the program on the chat here. In case you have any basically questions, you can go and download the syllabus here after the webinar as well. So yeah, going back to the slide. Oh, awesome. Most of you have already responded for the poll. That's great. And I see a lot of folks are waiting for the recording and the webinar certificate. Few more minutes, folks. We have just extended the session to address your questions only. So just give us few more minutes, and we'll just end it after that. So we would love to address the questions we have quickly once we're done with this poll and enrollment steps. Questions, a lot of questions about the recording. Yes, we will share the recording. So the recording will be sent to you over your email after the webinar. So you can look out for that in case you want to go through it again. So yeah, you can do that. Awesome. I see most of you have responded for the poll here. But again, like I would like to give 10 seconds more for the folks who are still thinking about it. And this is a really good time to go and put down your questions if you have any questions about the program or career path in general. So we would love to know. Last 10 seconds, have to close the poll. So are you interested in enrolling into the full stack Java Developers Masters program by Simplilearn? And you can respond as yes on the live poll, which you see here. And I know a lot of you folks are watching us live on our YouTube channel as well. So you can also go and basically click on the YouTube live chat box. You will see on the top, you will see the link towards the program, which I have just quickly shown here, how exactly the program page looks like. And you can go and share your enrollment interest through that link as well. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, you can click on the description and you will find the same link on the top of the description of the program. Follow the same steps. And yeah, you can share your interest towards enrollment similarly like other folks who have already shared here. So last 5 seconds for the poll here. Please let us know your interest in enrolling to the Full Stack Java Developers Masters program. And you can let us know by responding yes to the poll here. So 5 seconds more. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll. Thank you so much. A lot of you have shared towards enrollment interest. That's great. So let me just quickly take you through the enrollment steps here. So there are 3 simple, easy steps you have to follow. You have to apply at askus@simplilearn.net. And based on that, your qualification will be reviewed based on the eligibility and the criteria which I've shared with you earlier. In case you have missed that, the program link is here. You can go and check it out for yourself. I'll just share it once again. You just make a note of this link. And yeah, based on that, you'll be getting admissions offer. The learning consultants from Simplilearn will be reaching out to you and sharing the admissions offer letter with you. So these are 3 simple, easy steps that will be followed for admission. I'm just making you aware of it, what happens once you have basically shared your interest towards enrollment. Now moving on to the upcoming cohort, right? So I've told you the current cohort is completely filled. So the upcoming closest cohort which we have few seats left. This is the next induction session is happening on June 4th. And the cohort for this particular induction session is starting on June 8th. So this is the next closest one. If you plan to start immediately, you can go and opt for this one. And we do have limited seats here. And also basically the fee here for US candidates is $1,449, including GST. And for Indian candidates, the fee here is 40,000 rupees INR, including the GST. I know a lot of you have joined from different countries. That is why the link is shared on the chat to check it out for your own region. We do have basically installment and EMI partners as well, region-wise. You can check it out once you basically go and see the a fee there for your own region. And in case you're not able to find it, please don't worry. If you have already shared interest or are sharing interest to that link, the learning consultants will guide you, for to help you out with installment payments if you can't pay it all together. And even after the webinar, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at askus@simplilearn.net. I'll share that email ID for you on the chat. Just give me a second. Meanwhile, Shalini, first of all, thank you so much for staying for few more minutes extra. We have plenty of questions in the Q&A box, and I think you have managed to address a lot of questions even during the session as well. So maybe if you can take a few minutes just to quickly address any questions which are very helpful for our attendees here. So let me just quickly see.
So see, I can see there are some questions that people want to know in detail about what is API and all that stuff. So as you enroll for the courses, you will be taken through the detailed explanation of each and every framework, language, and technology. Could I make tester to Java full stack engineer? Yes, indeed you can. We do cover data structures. Indeed, we cover it in depth that is required for any company. You can learn front end or back end. You can choose anything. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to learn front end first or you have to learn back end first. But if you are a full stack developer, you will be learning the entire stack. What you can choose, front end or back end. So as someone said, that one single person or developer cannot create the entire application. Indeed, I agree to it. So if you are a creative person, you like to be creative, you can choose to be a website designer or a website developer because it requires lots of creativity than the logic. If you are very good, like if you like to solve problems, algorithms, then you may choose to be a backend, like you may choose the backend role in a full stack developer. The reason we say that you should know the full stack, because as a backend developer, when I create applications, which is consumed by the front end developers, and if I understand how the front end works, It is basically easier for me to develop applications in a way that the front end can communicate. So not necessary a developer will be doing the entire stack, but it's always good to know the entire stack. And then you can choose a particular stack to a particular area to go with. So I guess that those were the few questions which I felt like I should be responding. Rest with respect to payment and all, I guess you would be taking up. And
Sure. Let me just check if you have any more questions here. I see I've also managed to address few questions during the session as well. So folks, please do go and check out the answered question in the Q&A box. And yeah, thank you so much for your amazing questions and interaction. Now quickly moving on to the webinar certificate here, just to summarize it. So in case you're interested in the webinar certificate for attending the webinar, now is the time. And for that, you'll have to fill the post-webinar survey. That will be visible once I end the session. So that will just take 1 more minute. And so yeah, this is how the certificate will look like. In case you want to share it on LinkedIn, basically show it to your network and connect with like-minded folks. And also tag our expert Shalini Mittal as well. Folks are already sharing it. I have already shared the basically hashtag Simply Grow link with you. You can go and check out and interact with them as well. And you will be and we will find a lot of folks who are actually sharing all these screenshots, insights of the webinar as well, and getting a lot of traction on their posts and connecting with new people. I'm sharing Shalini's LinkedIn on the chat as well, and you can also see what others are posting through the link which I've shared for the hashtag Simply Grow. So don't forget to use the hashtag Simply Grow, and that is how we'll be able to find you. So if I see your post, I'll definitely come and support that post for sure. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. So would like to first thank Shalini once again for a very interesting session, for taking us through the Java full stack career path, and explaining us in and out of it. And I think the audience pretty much enjoyed it. I could see that from the interaction, not only on Zoom, actually on YouTube as well. There's a whole chat, messages lined up there as well. So thank you so much for that, Shalini. So would you like to say something to them before we end the session?
I would just say that have the right attitude, have the attitude of learning, and that's it. Someone asked, how do you convince the client? No need to convince. If you're true, if you're honest, you know your stuff, and you have the right attitude. So happy learning and keep learning. Thank you, Rasha. Thank you for hosting.
Thank you so much. Now, folks, I'll be ending the session, but before that, we would love to know, I'm just launching one last poll. This is to understand how satisfied are you with the content of the session. I'm just launching a quick poll. You can rate us, from 0 to 5 as you feel. So I've just launched the poll, and you can let us know how amazing was the session for you on the chat as well. You can also share a feedback, with us on the post-webinar survey. There'll be an option to, if you want to see some other topics get covered, anything basically, if you have interest in, you would like to see covered. So thank you so much, and thank you for being a very amazing audience. Like, you folks are very interactive, and I think we'll be seeing a lot of you in the upcoming cohort of this session as well. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So I'll just give 10 seconds more. You can just quickly, let us know how was the session for you by the reading which you see on the screen. And you can rate us from 0 to 5, as you feel. How satisfied are you with the session? Did you learn something new? Did you figure out something new through the session? So you can let us know. So last 10 seconds for the poll here. I'll be ending the poll. And thank you so much for the appreciation for our speaker, Shalini here. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, we'll be having Shalini for more sessions, upcoming sessions. For that, what I will do is, I actually have a link. I'll share with you the upcoming sessions here we have for webinars. So you can get early access to, all the upcoming webinars through this link. Go and register for all of them. Why not explore, right? If you are basically exploring other categories of webinars and on programs as well. So I'll share the link. Check out the link, and you will see a lot of amazing webinars lined up for you, where you can learn a lot of things from. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the poll here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll quickly end the poll, and yeah, hashtag Simply Grow. Thank you so much. And we will end the session now, and the post-webinar survey will be visible to you for the certificate. So thank you so much, Shalini, once again. Have a good night, good morning, good day, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.